Okay, so let me tell you what we are going to do today. This is a session in which I will be telling you about, like, I will be starting from the beginning, that how do we write a Java program. So if you think so that you already know that and you don't need this kind of revision session, you can opt out of it. Okay. But what all things I'm going to cover, I will be actually sharing with you how to write a first program in Java, what all things are accepted while writing a program, first program. Okay, then I'll be moving on towards accepting input. Then I'll be moving on towards writing a simple function. This is the thing which I'm going to teach today. Okay, only these three things. First one, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So you had frozen my screen.
I'm sorry.
You had frozen in my screen.
Okay. Fine. I hope so. I'm audible now. Okay, so let's start. Now pay attention. Prapti, pay attention, okay? See, I'm sharing the screen.
So they're not picking up the phone.
Okay, no issues, no issues. It's okay. Okay, now pay attention. See, first thing, when you start with a Java program, a Java class cannot have a space when you're giving a class name. So when I write first program, I need to write it like this. Okay, I say okay, then I click it. Now, what all things are actually allowed inside a Java program and what all are not allowed? So pay attention. Just give me a minute. There's something which has gone inside my eye. Okay. Now, very important. If you understand what all things are like allowed inside a class and what all things are not allowed in a class, then it is very easy for you to understand how to write a Java program. So outside your class, first thing which can come is a documentation part. Okay. What is documentation part? I'll tell you later, but understand this thing that outside your class, you can write documentation. Second is your package thing which is allowed outside your class name, or you can say outside your class. Third is the import statement or import package. And fourth is interface statement. These four things are allowed outside a Java class. Okay, you can say we are trying to talk about the Java program structure right now. Okay, I hope so you're getting it. Fine. So out of these four, what are we interested in? We are just interested in this one, that is import package. The other three we are not interested in right now because we are not going to use it. The interface statement you will use in 11, 12 if you go for computer science over there. Package name, it is not there in syllabus right now. If there is like in between, I'll just show you that how does it look like. Then I'll show you both the things, that is package name and documentation also. But right now throughout this session, we are going to only look at one statement, that is import statements. And you all know this thing that we write an import statement like import java.util.start, right? Okay, that is my import statement. Fine. So other two are not important for me. So what I'll do is under this import statement, I'll just write down the import statement. So it's import java.util.start. Okay, this is my import statement. Very good. Now, what I can write inside my class, only two things are allowed inside class. First one are data members, or you can say variables. And second is member functions. Okay. Apart from this, you cannot write anything inside a class. Data members and member functions. Those data members, or can say variables, can be of different types like static, non-static. That's a different story. But what thing can you do? You can write variables and functions inside your class. That's it. Nothing apart from this you can write. Okay. Hope so you're getting it. Right, everyone? Yes. Say yes or no. And start your cameras. Let me see you, all three of you. Only three are there today. Very good. Others don't need a revision, I think so. Start your camera. Three of you, start your cameras fast. Come on. Very good. गवरुल का पेज एकदम फिक्स, सीट एकदम फिक्स है लगता है. प्राप्ति, संजय. Very good. Sanjay कहाँ गया? Very good. Okay, great. Now, what do you mean by this data member and member function? Very important. Okay, this is a revision session, but then also I'll cover many things in this. Now, when I talk about data members and member function, how do I understand actually what do you mean by data member and member function? Pay attention. See, I'll give you a very good example. If I talk about my body, okay, or any human body, fine. Now, in a human body, if I talk about my hands, about my ears, about my nose, about my legs, all of these things are going to actually need some physical space to actually, what you can say, or they need a physical space. Am I right? Right? If I keep my hands over here, they are taking some physical space. Okay. Opposite to this, if I think something, let's say that if I want to say that I want to move my hand. So this is what I'm thinking right now. Does this thinking need a space? No, right? Because that is going on in my mind. So it's not that you can see that thinking. You're just thinking about it. Same over here happens. Your data members are like your body parts. This means that they need some physical space. And whatever functions we write, those are like your whatever you're thinking. They don't need a space. They are just things which, or you can say they are just statements which actually help my data members to actually work. Okay, same way as if whenever I think something, I'm actually moving my hand. So this means that I'm trying to think something and I'm using those physical objects, or you can say physical things, so I can do something. Okay, let's say that if I have this mouse with me, when I think that I want to touch this mouse, my hand actually goes and touches this mouse. Okay, so this is what is happening in a program also. Means you have two things. You have data members, you have member functions. Member function is the thing which you think, and data members are the thing that by thinking what you want to do, that is your data members. Okay, always your data members will have some physical memory which you'll get. Your member functions never get a memory. Okay, it's just a thought, or you can say this is what you want to do. So therefore your member functions will never get memory. Are you getting it what I'm saying, three of you? That your functions will never get memory. Only memory gets, or what thing get memory? Data members get the memory. Means your variables get memory, nothing else gets a memory. Okay, when I talk about memory, what is memory? In your RAM you get some space allocated for you, that is memory. Okay, I hope so that's clear to you. Fine, all three of you. Okay, now I'm going to write in front of you some rules to declare a variable. Now in your MCQ exam, for sure there will be a question on variable naming. Okay, that what is allowed as a variable name, what is not allowed as a variable. So just pay attention. Now the first thing which we're going to do is data members. So pay attention. Now whenever you're declaring a data member, which is means a variable only. So when I write int a, so there's no problem with this. Why? Because the rule says that each and every variable should start with the alphabet or any of the two special symbols which are allowed. Okay, so I'm again repeating it. Your variable name should start with the alphabet, or only two special symbols, that is a dollar or a underscore. Okay. Apart from this, it cannot start with anything. Very important. These are the basic things, can be asked in MCQ exams. I am 99% sure that it will be asked in an exam to choose from four options, which is the correct variable name or which is the wrong variable name, like kind of thing. Okay. So now pay attention over here. Let's say that if I write, now as I said that a variable name can start with a alphabet or it can start with a two special symbols. Which are those two special symbols? Let's see that. If I actually write $A and if I click somewhere, I'm not getting any error. This means that my variable name can start with a dollar. Okay. So write it somewhere that in your MCQ exams, there may be a question where they may ask you which is the correct variable name which is given from these four. And if it starts with a dollar, it's a correct name. It's a correct variable name. Okay. Same way, if I actually change this to a underscore, and if I click somewhere else, I don't get any error. Okay. Why? Because the underscore is also allowed in naming a variable. I hope so that is clear, and I hope so you're making notes. Yes, Gavril, paying attention. Okay, Sanjay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if I remove this thing and put a hash over here and click somewhere else, ab dekho, red line aa gayi. Okay, this means that apart from, okay, means you cannot use anything apart from your dollar, your underscore and your alphabet to start a variable name. Start बोल रहा हूं मैं, ठीक है? Start a variable name. Okay. This means that now the second rule says that you cannot start a variable name with a digit also. You cannot start a variable name with a digit also. Means if I write 1A, it will give me error. Okay, so this means a variable name cannot start with a digit. Actually, the first time which I said, it comprises of everything. Like I said that a variable name can start only and only with the alphabet and these two special symbols, that is underscore and dollar. Apart from it, it cannot start with anything. Okay, that statement actually makes it everything whatever I'm saying right now. So 1A is also not allowed because it is starting with a digit. But ulta is allowed. Like if I try to write A1, that is allowed. If I write A1, this means that digits are allowed in a variable name, but not at start. They can be in between or at the last of a variable name. Okay. So a digit can be in between or at last of a variable name, but they cannot be in the starting of a variable name. They cannot start with a digit. Very good. But is it the same thing with other special symbols? No. Your other special symbols cannot be used in between also. They cannot be used at last also. Okay, very important. Your other special symbols apart from your dollar and underscore cannot be used at last also, and they cannot be used in between also. This means that if I try to say 1A hash, okay, and click somewhere else, it gives me an error. Okay, saying that it is not a proper identifier, or can say expect something different. I hope so. That's clear. Yes, everyone. Okay. So the rules which you should write in your notebook. First one, very important, that the variable name starts with an alphabet and only two special symbols, that is underscore and dollar. Okay. Then second thing is digits are allowed, but they are not allowed in the starting. They are allowed in the last or in between. Okay. Special symbols are not allowed anywhere. Okay, apart from those two, that is your dollar and your underscore. उसके अलावा कोई भी special symbol आप use नहीं कर सकते. Let me tell you, your space is also not allowed. Means what? If I try to write something like this, if I want to give a variable name like roll number kind of thing, okay, this is also wrong because space is also a special symbol. I cannot give a variable name with a space. I have to give a variable name together only. Okay, and this thing is for your functions also. Your functions cannot be with the space. ये साथ में होने चाहिए. Variable का नाम भी साथ में होना चाहिए. Means what? If I want to show roll number as a variable name, instead of space, I'll give an underscore over there. Okay, so that makes sense now. So that roll number is a one variable for me. I hope so. This is clear. Very important. Why I'm taking this revision lecture? Those people who are not there, I think so, are stupid. Okay, anyways, fine. So I'll just put this recording anyways. That was about your roll number. Okay. Now, sorry, that was about your variable. Now, variables can be of two types. Variables can be of two types: static variable, non-static variable. Okay. Variables can be of two types: static variable and non-static variable. Now, what is the difference between a static variable and a non-static variable? Pay attention properly. You may have heard this from like me hundred of more times, but now this time some people are new, so pay attention. See guys, static variable and non-static variable, I'll give you an example. Static variable means, let's say that you're living in a flat system, suppose. Okay. So if there is a common tap which is outside your society, okay, if there's a common tap which is outside the society, that is a static variable for you. I hope you're getting it. Why? Because let's say there's 100 liter of water which is outside your society. Okay, let's say a person from A wing goes over there and drinks some water from it. ठीक है, तो उसमें से थोड़ा सा पानी कम हो गया, सपोज कि मतलब 1 लीटर पानी उसने पी लिया, तो उसमें 99 लीटर पानी बचा हुआ है। अभी समझ में आ रही बात मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? ठीक है, ओके। अभी दूसरे विंग में से दूसरा एक आया, उसने उसमें से पानी पिया, तो उसको उसमें 100 लीटर दिखेगा कि 99 लीटर दिखेगा? बोलो, प्राप्ति कितना दिखेगा? 99, right? Because that is common for all of them, right? तो स्टैटिक वेरिएबल मतलब क्या होता है बेटा, कि ये चीज जो है ना वो कॉमन है सबके लिए। मतलब कि अगर पहले वाले ने आके चेंज की तो दूसरे वाले को चेंज्ड वैल्यू आके दिखती है। ठीक है, तो मतलब उसमें ऐसा नहीं होता कि पहले वाले ने पी ली तो भी उसमें वापस आ गया 1 लीटर और फिर वापस जाके 100 लीटर में से पी रहा है, नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता। इट्स कॉमन, दिस मीन्स दैट एनीवन यूजेस इट, वो वैल्यू चेंज हो चुका है अभी, अब वो चेंज्ड वैल्यू ही अगले वाले को मिलेगा। ठीक है, बट जब अपने घर के अंदर हमारे टैप होते हैं तो हमारे घर के अंदर भी अपनी खुद की छोटी छोटी टंकी लगी हुई है, सपोज टैंक्स लगे हुए, वाटर टैंक्स लगे हुए। ठीक है, तो सपोज प्राप्ति के इसमें 50 लीटर वाटर है, संजय के इसमें 50 लीटर वाटर है, गवरिल के इसमें 50 लीटर वाटर है, सबके पास अपना अपना है, राइट? ठीक है, तो अगर प्राप्ति ने अपने टैंक में से 1 लीटर पी लिया तो संजय को कुछ फर्क पड़ने वाला है? नहीं, संजय के टैंक के ऊपर तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता। एम आई राइट? यू गेटिंग इट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? ओके, सो नॉन स्टैटिक वेरिएबल मतलब कि जब मैं इस क्लास के ऑब्जेक्ट्स बनाऊंगा तो हर एक ऑब्जेक्ट को अपना खुद का एक एक कॉपी मिल जाएगा, दैट इज फॉर नॉन स्टैटिक वेरिएबल। ठीक है, अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग, non-static variable when I talk about, so whenever I make an object of this class, whenever I make object of this class, understand this is कि मैं जब खुद के फ्लैट्स बनाता हूं अलग अलग, तो हर एक फ्लैट को खुद का एक टंकी मिल जाता है, एक टैंक मिल जाता है। ठीक है, so this is a class which I have, and of this class if I make n number of objects, so all those n number of objects will get their own non-static variables। ठीक है, so एक दूसरे का non-static variable के साथ हम लोग छेड़खानी नहीं कर सकते, there is no problem with the non-static variable, but static variable means a common thing। Okay, how do you understand what if a variable is static or non-static? उसके सामने अगर static कीवर्ड होगा तो वो static variable है, उसके सामने कुछ नहीं होगा तो वो non-static variable है। I hope so this is very much clear to all of you। Yes, okay,
So
yes,
so when we are writing a static variable, do we write static first or the data type first?
you write a static keyword first, static int, and then your variable name। Okay, fine, okay, so so that was about your static and non-static. I hope so that's clear, so I'll just write it over here।
So
yes Sanjay.
So I've written for a non-static variable, when an object is made of a class, each of it gets its own variables whose values cannot be interchanged.
Right, that's non-static, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, they cannot be interchanged. Very good. So means is that if I try to make a change in one object's variable, that doesn't affect on another object's variable। Okay, I hope so that's clear।
And static, I should write the values remain same.
The values are common, that variable is common
Common.
for each and every object। Okay, common is a word। Okay, great, now I'll just show it to you that how does it work। So so I have this variable int roll number with me, and I have a static variable, pay attention, s with me, int s, this. So roll number variable is how much? It's sorry, what is it? It's data member, it's a non-static variable, and your int s is a static variable for you. ठीक है? What means, how does this work? I'll show it to you. But before that, I want to come on a member function. Once I explain you member function, what a member function is, then we'll see and see the thing like how does your static and non-static variable work. Okay, so just pay attention. So the second thing which I want to talk about is member function. So as I said that member function मतलब क्या होता है बेटा कि whatever we think is a member function को कभी memory नहीं मिलता. ठीक है? How do you understand this thing? You understand this thing by I create n number of objects. Okay. All those n number of objects can use all these functions which are declared inside my class. Okay. मतलब क्या कि ऐसा समझो that I am there, my sister is there, my father is there. Okay. Now, all of us can think the same thing, that we want to actually prepare something. Prepare something means what? We want to prepare some kind of dish. Okay. अभी हम सबके दिमाग में अगर डोसा बनाना है तो उसके लिए पहले बैटर बनाना पड़ेगा. ये समझ में आ रही बात मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? डोसा बनाए तो सबके दिमाग में क्या आने वाला है कि बैटर बनाना है. It's a common thinking. It's a common thinking which we have, right? You're understanding what I'm saying? Okay. So this means that when I create n number of objects, and if they n number of objects want to do something, they need to use these functions which are declared inside my class. ठीक है? तो अब मैं क्या करूंगा? अब ध्यान दो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. See, मैंने सोचा है कि I want to prepare a batter. My sister thought that she wants to prepare a batter. ठीक है? मैं अपना बनाऊंगा, वो अपना बनाएगी, और मेरे पापा अपना बनाएंगे. ठीक है? समझ में आ रही बात मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? मतलब क्या कि मैं अपना मटेरियल यूज करूंगा, वो अपना मटेरियल यूज करेंगे, मेरे पापा अपना मटेरियल यूज करेंगे. समझ में आ रही है मैं बात क्या रहा हूँ? बट बनाने का तरीका सबका सेम है. सबको मिक्सर लगने वाला है, सबको फ्लोर लगने वाला है, सब कुछ लगने वाला है, बट सबका अपना अपना इंग्रेडिएंट्स अलग अलग है. समझ में आ रही बात मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? ठीक है? सो ओवर हियर व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज दैट द मेथड ऑफ डूइंग इज सेम एवरीवेयर, बट ingredients which we are using are their own ingredients. ठीक है? तो ingredients for us are data members. The thinking which we are doing is that to prepare a dosa is a function. Okay? But function for all of them is same kind of thing they're going to do, but सबको अपने अपने ingredients use करने पड़ेंगे. इसका मतलब ये है कि मैं अपना ingredient use करूंगा, वो मेरी बहन अपना ingredient use करेगी, मेरे पापा अपने ingredient use करेंगे. ठीक है? समझ में आ रही बात? कॉमन नहीं है इंग्रेडिएंट्स यहाँ पे, सिर्फ थिंकिंग कॉमन है कि हमको क्या करना है, हमें डोसा बनाना है करके. ठीक है? ओवर हियर आल्सो आई हैव दीस काइंड ऑफ वेरिएबल्स विद मी. सो दीस वेरिएबल्स आई कैन टेक इट एज like I have some ingredients with me. If I want to prepare something, so I'll make a function over here. Okay, pay attention. So what I do is I say void, let's make it a little bit proper. So instead of int roll number, I'll take two variables over here, int a, and let's say, so that you understand properly, and I say int b over here. Okay, and over here I take a void sum function. Pay attention, void sum, and inside this void sum function I want to accept the value of these two and then get the sum of it and print it. Okay, pay attention properly. So I'll write three functions over here so that you understand properly. I'll write one accept function. I'll explain you what is this function first and then we'll go further, so don't worry. And then I write void display over here. Okay, now how do you write a function? Very important. The syntax of writing a function is something like this, that first you need to write the return type. Right now in my function I don't have any kind of return type. So sir, you last तुम्हारे दिमाग में आता होगा कि सर रिटर्न टाइप क्या है. अगर यहाँ पे रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट नहीं दिख रहा है आपको आपके प्रोग्राम में, तो आपको यहाँ पे void लिखना होता है. ठीक है? सिंपल सी बात, एकदम क्लियर चीज है कि आपके प्रोग्राम में अगर आपको कहीं पे भी रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट नहीं दिख रहा है, रिटर्न ए, रिटर्न बी, रिटर्न फलाना ढंग का जो भी है, सो आपको यहाँ पे क्या लिखना है? void लिखना है. अगर यहाँ पे रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट होगा, सो अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट ये रिटर्न वैल्यू चेंज होती है. अगर नीचे से कोई इंटीजर रिटर्न हो रहा है तो यहाँ पे इंटीजर लिखा जाता है, अगर फ्लोट रिटर्न हो रहा है तो यहाँ पे फ्लोट लिखा जाता है. ठीक है प्राप्ति, संजय, गाब्रियल, यू गेटिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? ओके, फाइन. नाउ व्हाट इज नेक्स्ट थिंग? दिस इज द फंक्शन नेम. Same thing applies. There are some rules for writing function name also. In your function name, you can use anything. It's only that there cannot be a space between your function name. ठीक है? Functions जो होते हैं एक साथ होने चाहिए, कोई space नहीं होना चाहिए उसमें. इसका मतलब ये कि सर अगर मैं यहाँ पे hash दे दूं तो कोई प्रॉब्लम होगा क्या? ठीक है? तो हाँ, तो यहाँ पे आपके इसमें ये जो स्पेशल सिंबल है वो भी नहीं चलते फंक्शन के नाम में. समझ में आ रही है बात मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? जैसे वेरिएबल के इसमें
So shouldn't those variables be static?
Which variables?
Int A and B.
No, why?
Because we would like their values to remain consistent in the program.
No. I don't want that right now. I'll give an example of static. Don't worry. I know that you have a big confusion with static, Sanjay. Where to use static and where not to use static. I understand that. But today, everything will be removed. All your doubts will be cleared. So just pay attention. Okay. So did you understand this thing that this is function name, this is a return type? Yes. Okay. Now, Prapti, if this is, how do you understand it is a function? If you have these two brackets, ये अगर round brackets होते हैं ना किसी के भी नाम के आगे, तो मतलब वो function होता है. ठीक है? Okay. कोई भी नाम मतलब कहां पे भी आपको वेरिएबल दिखे और उसके सामने ऐसे दो ब्रैकेट आ गए तो समझ लेना वो फंक्शन है करके. ओके. अब ये दो कर्ली ब्रैकेट्स क्यों होते हैं? इन दो कर्ली ब्रैकेट्स के अंदर ही एक्चुअल कोड लिखा जाता है एक फंक्शन का. मतलब आप क्या करना चाहते हो उसके साथ. इतना समझ लो बहुत हो गया. ठीक है. तो फंक्शन आपके पास क्या क्या बताया मैंने अभी. पहले है आपके डेटा मेंबर्स, दूसरे हैं आपके मेंबर फंक्शंस. हाउ डू यू अंडरस्टैंड इट इज अ फंक्शन? इफ यू सी दोस टू ब्रैकेट्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ इट, दिस मींस दैट इट इज अ फंक्शन. ओके. नाउ द कर्ली ब्रैकेट व्हिच वी हैव गिवन डाउन, if the meeting gets over, please join again. If now, so the curly brackets which you have given over here, inside that you write the actual code of it. Okay. Now what I'm going to write inside this, I'm going to write a code to accept the numbers from the user. I'm doing this example purposely. Why? So that I can show you the difference between static and non-static also. Just pay attention, Sanjay, you also. Okay. If the meeting ends, you can just join again. Okay. So I was saying that I'm inside my void accept function now. Inside this void accept function, I want to accept the value for A and B. Okay, so I want to write a generalized code to accept the value of A and B. Okay, I'll give an example after this. But right now, if I want to just accept the value of A and B, I need to first declare a scanner class. And therefore, purposely, I've written above over there in line number 4 that import java.util.star. मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि अगर मुझे यूजर से वैल्यू लेनी है कुछ, तो मुझे एक स्पेशल तरीके का फंक्शन यूज करना पड़ता है जिसको बोलते हैं sc.nextInt करके. ये जो चीज होती है वो प्रेजेंट होती है तुम्हारे स्कैनर क्लास के अंदर. और ये स्कैनर क्लास कहाँ होता है? स्कैनर क्लास होता है आपके यूटिल पैकेज के अंदर. ओके. सो इसको यूज करने के लिए, ये जो स्कैनर क्लास है उसको यूज करने के लिए पहले मुझे यूटिल पैकेज को अपने अंदर इंपोर्ट करना पड़ता है. अब इसका मतलब क्या है? ये जो यूटिल नाम का जो चीज होता है एक फोल्डर होता है. सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू गेट एन एक्सेस टू दैट फोल्डर. इनसाइड दैट फोल्डर ऑल दिस क्लासेस आर रिटन, दैट इज स्कैनर एंड ऑल दोस क्लासेस, एंड आई वांट टू यूज अ स्पेसिफिक फंक्शन फ्रॉम दैट क्लास. देयरफॉर आई नीड टू इंपोर्ट दैट फोल्डर, यू कैन से दैट पैकेज. ओके. सो यूटिल पैकेज हमने इंपोर्ट कर लिया. इसलिए मैं अपने एक्सेप्ट फंक्शन के अंदर ये स्कैनर जो क्लास है वो मैं यूज कर सकता हूँ. ठीक है. सो आई राइट माय स्कैनर sc equal to new scanner and system.out. So this line tells me that whatever you're going to put from your keyboard now will be accepted by me. Okay. अब मैंने अगर इसमें से कुछ डाला तो मुझे वहां पे उसको कहीं पे स्टोर भी तो करना पड़ेगा. सिंपल सी बात है. अगर मैंने अपने कीबोर्ड के ऊपर से कोई भी की दबाई, एंटर मारा, तो जो एंटर मारने के बाद जो हवे में है अभी 1 और 2 3 जो भी वैल्यू मैंने डाली हुई है वो मैं कहीं ना कहीं स्टोर करना पड़ेगा. एंड वी नो दैट वी नीड टू स्टोर इट इन A and B, राइट? सो देयरफॉर व्हाट वी गोना डू इज वी विल राइट अ system.out.println statement stating that please enter the value for A. Enter the value for A like this. And over here, pay attention what I do. I say A equal to sc.nextInt. Okay. So this is the function which we use to accept the integer value from the user. Okay. If it was like something else, float hota to next float, double hota to next double, char के लिए next char नहीं होता, next char at 0 होता है. We'll see that afterwards. Okay. और string के लिए next string नहीं होता है, only next होता है. Okay. You should write it down somewhere that for strings it is not next string, but it's only sc.next. If you want to accept a word from the user, if you want to accept a whole line from user, then it's sc dot next line. We'll talk about it later, but right now I want to show you this thing. So same thing, I'll do it for my B also. Done, B. Then I'll go over here and make it as B. Okay. Now, instead of going directly to my sum function, I'll go to my display function to show you the difference. What is the difference between when I make n number of objects? Okay, so just pay attention now. Now, what I want to do is I want to just display the values which I'm taken from the user. Okay, very important. If you have like doubts in the basic of Java, this program is very important for you. So just understand कि variables के साथ होता क्या है. मैं जब 10 objects बनाता हूँ तो किसको अलग मेमोरी मिलती है और किसको कॉमन मेमोरी मिलती है, ये आपको यहाँ से समझेगा. तो ध्यान दो यहाँ पे कितना टाइम बचा है मेरे पास अभी यहाँ पे. रिमेनिंग हाउ मेनी मिनट्स, टाइम रिमेनिंग
6 minutes.
6 मिनट है. ठीक है, ध्यान दो यहाँ पे. So I'm doing system.out.println A and I'll print B over here. Okay. Now see, the most important thing, every program, let it be in Java, let it be C, let it be C++, needs an entry point function to start executing. Okay. For us in Java, the entry point function is public static void main string our_guess function. If you're not writing this function, then it's not an entry point function, but you can actually go and just execute this function, and whatever is written inside that will also get executed. Okay. The only difference is that if some people are not writing public static void main, this kind of function, and writing a simple function as void main, then that is not Java's entry point function, but that you want to be an entry point function, and just right click and you try to run it. What I'm trying to say is something like this. Pay attention. If I don't write public static void main, and if I write only void main, pay attention. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to create an object of this class purposely. obj1 equal to new, like this. And I say obj1 dot accept. ध्यान देना ठीक से. And I say obj1 dot display. ठीक है. Then what I do is I create one more object. Pay attention. I create one more object. I then give the name as obj2 over here. And for that also I'll accept thing. And I'll print things. So I'll say obj2, obj2. Okay, pay attention properly. Now I go over here. And now see, you can see over here that I don't see any main function which is getting displayed over here. Why? Because our function is not a static function, it's a non-static function, and a non-static function cannot be called without a object. Non-static function जो होते हैं बेटा, उनको कॉल करने के लिए हमें ऑब्जेक्ट बनाना ही पड़ता है. यहाँ पे भी देखो आप, ब्लूजे जो होता है आपके लिए एक एनोनिमस ऑब्जेक्ट काइंड बनाता है, जो कि यहाँ पे आपको समझेगा. न्यू यहाँ जो लिखा हुआ है ना, न्यू फर्स्ट प्रोग्राम, wherever you get this new written, you should understand that it will create an object for you. तो मैंने ये कहने की कोशिश कर रहा था मैं कि अगर आपने पब्लिक स्टैटिक वॉइड मेन नहीं लिखा हुआ है तो आपका जो ब्लूजे है वो आपको पहले बोलता है कि भाई एक ऑब्जेक्ट बनाओ. तो ये हमने ऑब्जेक्ट बना दिया. ये रेड कलर का यहाँ पे जो लेफ्ट साइड में दिख रहा है आपको, ये एक ऑब्जेक्ट है. समझ में आ रही बात मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? ठीक है. उस पे जब मैं राइट क्लिक करूंगा, नाउ इट टेल्स मी दैट कि भैया देखो इसमें से कौन सा फंक्शन आप रन करना चाहते हो. तो यूजिंग दिस ऑब्जेक्ट आई वांट टू रन माय मेन फंक्शन, बिकॉज मेन फंक्शन के अंदर ही मैंने सब मेरा काम किया हुआ है. सो आई विल से void main. सो नाउ इट सेज दैट एंटर द वैल्यू फॉर ए. ये कैसे आया एंटर द वैल्यू फॉर ए? अगर मैं आपको ठीक से दिखाऊं, पे अटेंशन, सी, पे अटेंशन प्रॉपर्ली. मेन के अंदर सबसे पहली लाइन थी ऑब्जेक्ट बनाने की. तो उसने क्या किया, एक obj1 नाम का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया. ठीक है। obj1 नाम का ऑब्जेक्ट जब बना होता है तो मैंने आपको क्या बोला था कि कभी भी जब ऑब्जेक्ट बनता है तो उसको क्या मिलता है, उसको उससे डेटा मेंबर्स मिलते हैं अपने अपने खुद के, मतलब obj1 के अंदर उसको अपने खुद का a और b मिल चुका है। समझ में आ रही है बात मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? ठीक है, obj1 जो बना है उसके अंदर उसका खुद का a है और उसका खुद का b है। वेरी गुड, बन गया मेरे पास, मेरा obj1 के अंदर a और b मुझे मिल गया। नाउ आई एम ट्राइंग टू से obj1 डॉट एक्सेप्ट। सो what is the name of the object who is calling accept functions, Sanjay? What is the name of the object which is calling accept function right now?
obj1.
obj1. Very good. So this means that this accept function we will actually assume that this a and b are of obj1 right now. मतलब कि ये जो accept function है अभी जब वो रन होगा तो वो खुद को जो a and b है वो किसके मानेगा? वो obj1 के a and b मानेगा। ठीक है, अगर इसी की जगह पे मैं obj2 डॉट एक्सेप्ट बोलता तो एक्सेप्ट फंक्शन के अंदर जो a एंड b है वो किसके माने जाएंगे? obj2 के माने जाएंगे। सो वट एवर ऑब्जेक्ट इज कॉलिंग वट एवर फंक्शन, वो उस वक्त के लिए उस ऑब्जेक्ट के वेरिएबल्स को अपना मानता है। समझ में आई बात? ठीक है, समझ में आ रही है? ठीक है, आई थिंक सो इट विल गेट ओवर इन जस्ट सम सेकंड्स, लेस देन अ मिनट। So I don't want to continue like this. Let this, I'm just ending this meeting, okay? And we'll join again. When I was talking about my obj1, so inside my obj1, it has its own a and b. When I create obj2, it has its own a and b. Now this accept function, over here, pay attention, is a function which is present over here. इसके अंदर इसका खुद का कुछ भी कोड लिखा हुआ है। So when I try to say obj1 dot accept, so who is calling accept function right now? obj1 is calling. So if I actually do some kind of processing of a and b inside accept function, so it will consider this a and b of my obj1 right now. Means when I say obj1 dot accept, so whatever values we are accepting from the user right now, okay, will go in obj1's a and b. So let's do it. Let's write down over here. I'll just remove this thing. Okay, let's write down over here as 6 and enter. So the value right now which is inside my a, okay, has gone inside my obj1's a. Okay, so I'll just write it down over here. 6 over here. Okay, now next time if I put a value as 4 and enter, this value is gone inside what? It is gone inside my obj1's b. तो मतलब कि ये जो a and b भरा हुआ दिख रहा है आपको यहाँ पे वैल्यूज, अभी जो a and b दिख रही हुई है वो obj1 की वैल्यूज दिख रही है। ठीक है, तो फिलहाल के लिए अगर मैं आपको दिखाऊं यहाँ पे डायग्राम के, इससे आ जाओ नीचे, क्या कर रहे हो? हाँ, सो यहाँ पे ये चला गया आपका 4 यहाँ पे। और फिर क्या हुआ, हमने एक डिस्प्ले नाम का फंक्शन भी था हमारे पास। ठीक है, वो डिस्प्ले नाम के फंक्शन को भी obj1 ने कॉल किया। तो जब डिस्प्ले नाम के फंक्शन के अंदर sop a जो हमने लिखा था, सो दिस a will be considered of whose variable? It will be considered of obj1's variable. Why? Because obj1 has called display function और sop b भी लिखा था हम लोगों ने। सो ये डिस्प्ले फंक्शन obj1 ने कॉल किया है, इसलिए b का वैल्यू किसका कॉल होगा? b obj1 के b का। इसलिए आपके स्क्रीन के ऊपर आप देखोगे यहाँ पे तो 6 and 4 जो दिख रहा है वो obj1 का दिख रहा है। अब उसके बाद एंटर द वैल्यू फॉर a वापस आया है। ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? बिकॉज इफ यू पे अटेंशन ओवर हियर, आफ्टर my obj means after creating my first object, I'm creating my second object also, and now for this second object I'm calling this accept function again. So this time what will happen is, this accept function will behave as if it is working for obj2 now. So अगर इस बार जो भी वैल्यू एक्सेप्ट होगी वो जाएगी obj2 के अंदर, बिकॉज फिलहाल के लिए accept function is called using obj2. So this means that if I go over here and if I print some values, or can say try to accept some values, so I'll put 10 over here and 13 over here. So ये जो 10 और 13 आया है अभी, ये 10 और 13 किसकी वैल्यूज हैं? ये obj2 की वैल्यूज है। Prapti, is that clear? Sanjay, is that clear? Others, Gabriel, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And 13 is of obj2 now. So from here you understand this thing that the non-static variables get their own copy in the objects. Okay, now let's do one thing. I'll show you the last thing for the day, that is, let's make one static variable. Okay, so this was non-static variable. Let's make a static variable. Okay, let's make a static variable. I'll write static int 5, suppose. Okay, oh sorry, static int s equal to 5. Okay, I'm giving a initial value to it. Static int 5 मैंने दे दिया. और ये जो sum variable है, उस sum variable को अपन हटा के हम लोग or let it be the name as sum. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to increase s equal to s plus 1. I want to do. Okay, means what? कि I want to increase my s by 1. If I call my sum function, static variable का value जो है वो 1 से increase हो जाएगा. ठीक है, इसका मतलब ये है कि obj dot sum मैंने लिखा तो static variable का value हो जाएगा 6. और अगर मैं obj2 dot display करूंगा, और तो हम काम करते हैं display function के अंदर. Now this time what we'll do is we'll try to print sum variable also. Oh, sorry, s variable also. So क्या हो गया ये? We'll say control C. I'm going to control V over here. And I'll try to print my s variable also. So let's see what I get the value of s variable as. Okay, pay attention. So what I do is I go down and first I'll print my obj1 dot display. And then what I do is I say obj1 dot sum function. Okay. And then I again say obj1 dot display. Means what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to change the value of some function, and then I want to display all the variables once again. Okay, pay attention. I'll just remove this annotation clear. Pay attention, everyone. So I say control K over here. Let's go and close this thing. Let's go over here and execute it once again. Pay attention. Okay, right click. I do my void main. Pay attention. Right now, this thing which is getting executed is getting executed for obj1. So I put the value as 4 for A. I put the value as 6 for B. Okay. If you see over here, what is happening now? Pay attention. See, A और B का वैल्यू यहां तक देखो पहले. ABS का वैल्यू क्या आया? जो A मैंने डाला था वो 4 है, जो B मैंने डाला था वो 6 है, और यहाँ पे S का वैल्यू 5 है जो कि इनिशियल वैल्यू था. Then I called my sum function. So in between this and this, my sum, the S value of S got increased and got 6. तो 4 और A का वैल्यू 4 और B का वैल्यू 6 तो वैसा का वैसा आ रहा है, बट S का वैल्यू 6 आ गया. ठीक है, अब देखो जादू देखो यहाँ पे. अभी obj2 का वैल्यू, obj2 के A का वैल्यू I'm putting as 9 and value of B I'm putting as 7, and I say enter. When I say enter, you see that value of A is 9, value of B is 7, but S का वैल्यू 6 का 6 रह जाता है क्योंकि इट्स अ कॉमन मेमोरी जो कि चेंज किया था आपके obj1 ने, बट obj2 के दौरान जब मैं उसको एक्सेस करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं तो मुझे चेंज वैल्यू 6 की मिलती है, which I tried to print using my obj2. If you see over here, you'll understand from here. I'll just open this part also in front of you. So what happened is over here, I tried to change the value of my static variable using sum function. Okay, so it increased the value of from 5 to 6. Then I said obj1 dot display. So obj1 dot display के अंदर हमने मतलब display function के अंदर हमने लिखा हुआ है A print करो, B print करो और S print करो. ठीक है, तो A तो वो खुद का प्रिंट करेगा, B खुद का प्रिंट करेगा, और S तो कॉमन है तो वो S जो कॉमन वैल्यू है वो प्रिंट कर दी उसने. उसके बाद मैंने obj2 बनाया. obj2 के अंदर मैंने वैल्यू एक्सेप्ट की A और B की. ठीक है, A और B की वैल्यू मैंने एक्सेप्ट की और फिर मैंने डिस्प्ले करना चाहा. डिस्प्ले जब मैं करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं तो मेरा obj2 का A प्रिंट हो गया, obj2 का B प्रिंट हो गया, और S तो कॉमन है तो S का वैल्यू जो 6 था पहले जो कि चेंज हुआ था वो मेरे स्क्रीन के ऊपर आके प्रिंट हो गया. I hope so that's very much clear now. What do you mean by static common memory and what do you mean by our non-static variables? Yes, Sanjay, is it clear now?
Sir, S is a static variable, right?
Exactly, S is a static variable. You can see over here.
So, but then I think you said that nowhere, at least for this year, we'll have to use static and non-static in our programs.
What?
At least for this year in 10th, we won't have to use static, non-static in our programs.
I am explaining you what is the difference between static, non-static. You don't have
Yes,
to
so
use
that I
anywhere.
understood.
Yes.
That I understood, but the
Right.
exact use are not understood yet.
The exact use is this only, beta. Exact use is something like this. Now you tell me. Let's say.
So basically, the value of int s will remains common for both the objects. That's the use.
For all objects. For all objects.
All objects.
For all objects. Okay. Now that depends on scenario. Like if you want to keep something as common which everyone can use it, and anyone changes the value, that change value should be used next time, right? So you want to use that variable. So you'll make it as static variable. That's it. So this is the scenario which is there, which will be given to you. In that you have to think कि अगर भाई मुझे खुद के अपने अपने values चाहिए तो that should be non-static variables. But if I want some variables which need to be changed as per each and every object when it uses it, that should be static variable. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Prapti understood. Gabriel understood.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? Please ask me, because there can be a question in your exam. Understand this thing. There can be a question, output question, where they may keep a static variable like this, and they may change the values in somewhere in between, and they may ask you that what is the value of S and what is the value of your A and B. Okay, therefore I took this example because static keyword is there in your syllabus, so there can be a conceptual question based on this kind of program where they will go and change the static variable using one object, and when they try to print the static means all variables using obj2, so you should understand that the static का variable जो change हुआ था बीच में वही value आपको obj2 भी देगा या फिर obj3 भी देगा. समझ में आई बात? Gabriel getting it? Prapti, Sanjay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So if you have any question, please ask me, else I'll end the lecture. No question? प्राप्ति बिंदास होके क्वेश्चन पूछो, ठीक है?
No, sir, I don't have any questions.
Okay, Gabriel?
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, then enjoy your day.
Sir,
yeah, Sanjay.
Are we going to have a class on the weekdays also? Because I think you said we'll be having a Wednesday class.
Wednesday class, in between I did ask everybody, but no one, there's no fixed timing for everyone. Like Wednesday, somebody is having class, somebody is not free. So I said that I will be taking Saturday, Sunday class for 1.5 hours so that it will cover up the Wednesday session also. So I used to take 1 hour in in weekday 1 hour and Saturday, Sunday 1 hour. So I changed it to Saturday, Sunday 1.5 hours now.
Okay, fine.
Okay, but in between, if I think so it is required, I may take. So with convenient time with everyone, I'll just discuss on the group and I'll be taking it because you have your exams now nearby. So therefore.
Also, sir, we have a class test on arrays soon.
On arrays, I will be starting with arrays, but like this Saturday, Sunday, if time permits.
So it's not on arrays, it's on string handling.
Just string handling. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the string is already done. But I'll take revision session of string handling also, so don't worry. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Have a nice
Okay,
day.
sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Bye, sir. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay, you too. Bye.